All right, it's literacy time. So I have gotten so many wonderful questions from you guys, okay? Your moms and dads have emailed them to me, they've texted them to me, I've seen them in Seesaw, and you guys have thought of some really good questions. So I'm going to add some of those questions onto our chart here, okay? It says what we want to learn, all right? So somebody asked, how do the chicks get out of the egg? Great question. I'm going to write that one in red actually so you can see it. So, how do chicks get out of the eggs? Great question. All right, another question somebody asked, which kind of has to do with your morning message. How long until chicks hatch? Okay, and Corinne had a good one. She wanted to know about, does the mother hen stay on the eggs and sit on them for the same amount of time as they're in our incubator? Because our chicks are in the incubator because we don't have a mother hen. I don't have a hen at my house to sit on the eggs. So our incubator is acting like the mother hen and keeping them warm. So how long they stay in the incubator, is that the same amount of time as how long the mother hen sits on them? Great question. So how long until the eggs hatch? All right. Some other questions we've had. Wyatt and Ben Ressler wanted to know, can they fly? Can they swim? Great question. Can chickens fly? And then I'm going to add swim because I want to know both those things. I want to know, can chickens fly and can chickens swim? Good question. And maybe some of you already know the answer to this. Maybe some of you have parents or grandparents or great grandmas and grandpas who have a farm and who have chickens on them. And I want to, maybe you know the answers to some of these questions already. All right, here we go. Ooh, another good one. How many eggs can chickens lay? How many eggs can chickens lay? Fabulous question. All right, this was Simon's. Kind of a silly question, but I'm going to tell you, we're going to find out the answer to it. How big is chicken poop? How big is it? Here we go. How big is chicken poop? Can I tell you, last year and all the other years I've hatched eggs, chickens are messy. They are not easy to clean up after. And you will find out once our eggs hatch, it's going to be a lot of work to take care of them. All right, what do they eat and drink? Great question. What do chicks eat and drink? You learned yesterday that when they're inside the egg, the yolk becomes their food and their nutrients, and the albumin, the white stuff, becomes their water that they drink, okay? And that little air space at the bottom of the egg is how they breathe and how they get their air, okay? So keep up the good work. If you haven't sent me your questions yet, you still have time. You can put them into Seesaw. You can have your mom and dad text me, okay? So we have a couple more things we're going to be doing for literacy today. I'm going to be reading you a story about living and non-living things, okay? And you're going to have an assignment to do with that in Seesaw, and I'll show you that in a minute. And you're also have to finish your Write the House, I believe it was. Maybe your sight word sentences. I have to go back and look. I think it was your sight word sentences. To finish those up, I think you've done a couple of them, and you need to go and wrap it up, okay? So what's really cool is while I'm YouTubing, I can also check out your homework and see what it was that you needed to finish. Yes, it was your sight word sentences, okay? I think you were doing about 8 a day. So you should be finishing up your last few sight words, taking words like and putting it in a sentence. Cam and Ben are having quiet time right now. That'd be a great sentence. All right. So I hope you enjoy my story next. Log on to Seesaw, get your morning message done, get your living and non living, which I'm going to read you a story and tell you what you need to do in a minute, and then work on those sight word sentences. All right? All right. Today's story we're going to be reading is called Living and Non Living, and it's by Carol Lindeen. All right. And while we're reading it, I want you to be thinking about things that are living and things that are non living, because your job when the story's over is to go into Seesaw and draw me a picture or write about 2 things that are living and 2 things that are non living. Here we go. Living and non-living has a table of contents. We're going to learn about living and non-living on page 5, what living things do on page 9, alive or not alive, maybe like a little test for us, on page 21. And there is a glossary on page 22 for us to look at. Here we go. Living and non-living. The world is full of living and non-living things. Frogs are living things. They breathe, eat, grow, and move. Rocks are non-living things. Rocks are made of minerals. Living things act in different ways than non-living things. Living things grow and change. Living things breathe. Fish breathe through gills. It's labeled gills. That looks like a shark to me. Living things need food. Cows eat plants. Plants make their own food from sunlight, water, and soil. Living things move on their own. Flowers turn towards sunlight. Watering cans can't move on their own. Living things react to changes around them. Dogs chase balls. Balls can't see or hear dogs. Living things grow older and die. Leaves grow and change color. Then they fall to the ground. Alive or not alive. Farms are full of living things and non-living things. Which things are living? Which things are non-living? All right, so in the back it tells us what some of these words mean. Breathe means to take in air. Gills are organs on a fish's side that it uses to breathe. Sharks breathe through gills. Mineral. A solid in the ground made by nature that is not a plant or animal. Minerals are found in rocks and soil. React. To do something in response to another action. All right, so you log into Seesaw. You find a living and non-living sheet that I put in there for you to do, and you're going to draw 2 things that are non-living. Maybe you had an idea from the book. Maybe you have an idea at your house. Or maybe you've just thought of your own idea. And you're going to draw 2 living things also. It'd be really great if you labeled them. You wrote the word so I knew what your picture was. All right. Thanks, friends. Don't forget to also do your sight word sentences. That's your other station for today. And keep reading those baggy books.